And good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Who's feeling it? Who is feeling it tonight? Because we are 1 hour and 25 minutes, 1 hour and 24 minutes, 55 seconds away from kickoff in the Europa League. Make some noise for the boys. Celtic take to the pitch tonight. We're all waiting. This is the projected lineup. I'll get rid of that scene. We'll go old school until we get the official lineup from Celtic Football Club, as always. And just a quick note: Celtic did put out a film yesterday into the realities that many face at Christmas time. And it was interesting to see that Celtic have served over 23,000 hot meals to people through the Paradise pit stop. And for me, that is a phenomenal amount of meals that is given out to people that, are having not the best of times. And it's always good. 1,000 hot meals to see the charitable side of Celtic Football Club coming through during these troublesome times at Celtic within the support. Let's jump into the comments and see what some people will be thinking about the game this evening. Have we got any predictions in there? Hail, hail, 1-0. Coming in from the Republic of Ireland. I'm just saying that because Paradise found in sunny Spain this evening. Mark says it's going to be 2-1 to Roma. Give me your scoreline predictions as we wait on the team coming through. And 2-1 to the boys, says Paul also. Interesting. 2-1. Do you think that we'll get it? Do you think we'll get the result tonight? 2-1 to the boys. Here everyone just walking past the bars on the way to Paradise. 2-1 Celtic. 2-1 Celtic. A lot of people are going for 2-1. Didn't even know they were playing. I didn't know they were playing on. Hopefully Stanisalo and a couple of changes, but you never know. I don't think it might be though. 2-1 to Celtic, says Ian. 3-1, says Joseph. Helen's still sticking to 1-0 Celtic. That'd be a fantastic result if it was 1-0. Just getting us up the Europa League would be fine. Liam says, last time I said we would get pumped and we won, so this time I'm saying we'll get pumped. Oh, my. Delilah, as they say. Well, I don't think we'll get pumped. I'm hoping for a good result. Definitely not a pumping, as they say, says Liam. Jed's going for 3-1 Celtic. Evening from Barcelona. Evening, Tom. Barcelona before I had the game. That is 2-1 to the Celts. Tony just wants a win. It's going to be tight, says Catholic Rebel, and he reckons it will be 1-0 to Celtic. Tell me your thoughts on the predicted lineup. We are around about 7 minutes out from the official lineup. Let me just jump onto this a second. That is the predicted lineup, so do not worry about it. It is the predicted lineup. I'm just trying to see if the live games are coming through, or if it's just the 9 o'clock games that are coming through on the stats. If this changes. And that's the predicted Roma lineup. I'll be dancing and flashing away, says Steve. There we go. Big shout out to for becoming a member. Thank you for that. I'm just waiting to see if there's any changes. No, it's all the 9 o'clock. It's all the 9 o'clock results. So I'll come back off that screen because that's just showing us all the kickoffs that are starting at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. Last game I said 50 quid super chat on Yang and we won. Dare I say it again, says Gareth. He's going to say 2-1. And the Celtic Foundation loved their charitable donation. It's fantastic. Put Engels in Hatate's position and Bernardo on for Hatate. Well, we'll soon see. That was the predicted lineup. It's a bit changed from the lineup that I had because in the morning I thought McCowan would play, but we'll wait and see. Thank you, Catholic Rebel. That will change in around about 20 minutes time. Once we get the official lineup, we will change to the new scene that will be live throughout the full game. But until that lineup changes, I'll just keep it on this one. And it's all interactive. We're going DEFCON 9. Make sure you hit the subscribe button also. We are trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. Can we get it before the end of the year? No, I think that it's more realistic that we get to 25,000 subscribers before the end of the transfer window. We're on 24,300. So if you're feeling charitable this Christmas, make sure you subscribe to the channel and get us to that 25,000 subscribers before the turn of the year. Nah, that's a bit much, isn't it? Can we get 700 subscribers in 20 odd days, just under 20 days? You never know. If the Celtic fans in numbers, the ones that do not subscribe to the channel but watch the channel, if they were all to subscribe, we would be on around about 40,000 subscribers, to be honest. But anyway, it is. Let's get back into the chats. Let's get past the 25k by New Year's Day. Thank you for that, mate. Think something magical is going to happen tonight. 2-1 Celtic. Up the Brigada, if it does. And yes, as we have hit 24,300 subscribers tonight. We are just waiting on Celtic putting out some information. It's around about 4 minutes time now until the official team is out. I will get, we do get a better Instagram. Come off that. Let me just do this search. Oh, I don't want to download that. Let's get Celtic FC up. There we go. There will be a minute's applause before the game tonight for the late John Dixie Deans, who sadly passed away this week. Some fantastic pictures coming out of Celtic Park tonight with the Europa League logos. It'll be interesting to see how many people are at the game tonight also, because there are a lot of people boycotting the football with the Not Another Penny campaign. And tell me what you think about Celtic, the charitable arm of Celtic, and the Paradise Pit Stop, with over 23,000 hot meals served throughout the year. I think personally, on a personal note, I think it's fantastic that so many meals have been given to people that were in need of help, and I just think it's fantastic. This Christmas Day, 400 vulnerable people will gather for lunch at Celtic Park. And Celtic will open the doors to paradise. And I think, for everything that's said about Celtic and the hierarchy, the fact that they do open the doors on Christmas Day and members of the top end members of staff do visit Celtic Park on Christmas Day to help out is a fantastic thing for any organisation to do. And the fact that Celtic do it is wonderful. And it sometimes can be forgotten that they do this. And they've also just given £10,000 to charity, to the hospital, that they do every year. So, and it's not a big up the board before anyone starts the nonsense this evening. Let's get back on to, I don't want to start that. Force quit. Jesus, opening up wrong things. Benji needs dropped. He's slower than a week in the jail. Oof. Wolf, I would love a wee run in Europe for Wilfred Nancy. I think you might get it. We do have 1 minute to go until the official team. Now, I will go old school and put the team out yet. Notice we out in 1 minute, Brian. We will win either 3-1 or 3-2 as long as we win. I am happy. Right, Celtic, you have around about 150 seconds until the team comes out. And then once it does come out and it has been official, it should change on this screen also. But until it does, we'll click back to this one. Casper, Puzzi, Trusty would be my lineup. A lot of more cover for the defence. Puzzi's never getting a game, big Rab. Jemai Simpson Puzzi is never getting a game at Celtic for whatever unknown reasons. The team is out. Oof, my days. The team is out. And it's not what you may think, Celtic fans. Michael, Trusty, Scales, Tierney, Yang, Tenecti, McGregor, Engels, Benji, Hatate, Dyson, Maida. Is that the team that I put up this afternoon? That's very like the team. I'm going to get this one up on the screen just now. But I will jump. Trusty, Scales, Tierney, Yang, Tenecti, McGregor, Engels, Benji, Hatate, Dyson, Maida. That's the exact same as the team that we predicted, isn't it? We got back Trusty, Scales, Tierney at the back. Yang, McGregor, Engels, Tenecti, and then Hatate, Benji for the. It's the exact team. That is the lineup that I predicted this afternoon, and it's the official lineup for Celtic Football Club this evening. On the bench is Sinisalo, Ross Duhan, Mikel Ange, Balak Wisher, McCown, Ini Acho. Yeah, I know the team's out, and it's the same team as the team that is on here. Not the one that I predicted early morning. The early morning one I had Luke McCown, but on this one that comes up in a minute or so, it will give you the team. But I can put the team up on until the official one comes out. Put that up there until that sorts itself out. So that's the teams. Michael, Trusty, Scales, Tierney, Yang, Tenecti, McGregor, Engels, Benji, Hatate, and Dyson Maida, which is interesting. And that is the current league setup. I wonder if I need to refresh that. Let me just check this and check that it is refreshing. Because there is a game that's already kicked off, isn't there? And there's been a change to a league position. Might get able to speed that up. Let's go. Can't hear in here. What's the lottery numbers? Says Liam. Tell me about it. What are the lottery numbers? I don't think that table's updated. This team will be the team for a week further longer. We'll for once and see these consistency. Yeah, that's the team that I predicted this afternoon. It's the exact same team as. That's not changed yet. That's the same one that I put up in the earlier videos this afternoon. So, good guess. And it is a fantastic team. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. We'll change that back until everything else. This formation is going to work. He needs actual fullbacks. I think when you play in a back three, you generally don't play with fullbacks. You play with them further forward. So, you know, when people go with three at the back, they generally do go with three defenders rather than two fullbacks and one defender. Because the fullbacks want to go forward. You know, they want to go forward all the time. When you've got three, we can only play with the players that we currently have. And that's the situation at Celtic as it stands. Let me just double check something whilst I'm here. Well, that should have just updated. See if that's updated. Well, the team's the exact same. But anyway, the subs. Sinisalo, Ross Duhan on the bench. Balak Wisher, Cowan, Balak an expensive player to have on the bench. I mean, people were complaining last season about £11 million player sitting on the bench. When you look at it, I think Iniacho will come on. You've got two strikers on the bench, so there is the chance that he can change formation to a two up front. He did change it towards the end of the game against Hearts. He changed it to a two up front. Will he change it today to a two going forward, especially since you've got Iniacho and Johnny Kenny on the bench? There's plenty of firepower on the bench. I mean, Bernardo's there, Luke McCowan. Luke McCowan's got a good scoring record. Bernardo can hit from range also. And then you look at the defenders. The defenders is where Celtic are short at the moment. I mean, Dane Murray has been promoted by default. I mean, he would probably be in it for the Scottish contingent because there are very little Scottish players. Wex says, why you got two keepers on the bench? In Europe, you've always got to have two keepers on the bench. You've always have two keepers on the bench in European football. Go back and check every game. We've always had, every team has two keepers on the bench. But when you look at the bench from a defensive point of view, you've got Dane Murray, Donovan, Ralston. That doesn't fill you with joy. Donovan, yeah, he's a player that's coming through the system. He's a player that's up and coming, as they say. He's a player that will progress for Celtic and only get better. And it's kind of the same with Dane Murray. No, but will Dane Murray be a Stephen Welsh type of player? You know, we've been cracking on about the fact that there's no one coming through the system for Celtic, and when they do come through the Celtic, the system, it's a night for super subs. Baz, I think it could be Scott. I think it could be a night for super subs, and the fact that that the subs could make a difference tonight. Definitely. Don't be negative about Nancy George. Celtic will get nothing tonight, says George. That is the team lineup. Take the comment section down on TV. I can't see it. That's YouTube. That's nothing to do with me, mate. I can't take the comment section down off your TV. That's YouTube. You need to go into YouTube and take the comment section down on your end. It's nothing to do with me. I'm on my way to the game, says Fishing with the Boys, and he's going to say 1-1. He's saying 1-1. That's an interesting one. I will put the team over here just for the people that can't see it because of the comments. And then they'll complain that the comments are actually in the way of the team. But that is the starting lineup. Celtic are currently in 22nd position this evening. Celtic versus Roma. And it'll be interesting to see if we can climb the table. Can we get the win? 7 points would take us up to 10 points. If we do get the win, that would take us way up the table. And it could be a good night for Celtic because I reckon that 10 points is the bare minimum that we need to qualify. I'm just jumping through some of the comments. Right, tell me what you think the score predictions will be after seeing that lineup from Celtic. And it's interesting that the lineup is pretty much similar to that lineup that we put up earlier today. I don't know if that's the official Roma lineup as yet. I better get let me just do this. Let me just check this. Ooh. Traffic is bad. Let me just check this. Superstore isn't that busy. I'm just watching a video of the Celtic Superstore, and there is a big queue of yeah, but there's no queue of people. I think a draw tonight. You think a draw tonight? Would that be a fair enough result for Celtic? 2-1 Roma. Scales gets the consolation. Oof. 2-1 to Roma. Don't say that. 3-1 to Roma. 2-1. Come on, Nancy. Scott Boys goes 3-2 Celtic. Kelechi and Maeda to score. Oof. Kelechi and Maeda to score. That would be interesting if both of them did score. Let me just get rid of that now and see what some of the people are saying online with regards to that team selection. Been over 100 comments online. Four each boot market. Oof. Four each. Could you imagine 4 each? That would be interesting. Back three again. Back say it just win. How does Engels keep getting away with it? I'm not even reading that because the negativity is unbelievable. I still go stand by my scoreline. I think that Celtic will win 2-1 tonight. I did say earlier we get a cheeky 2-1. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I think it. Rumours have it we've been working on set pieces all week, says Desmond Donnelly. 3-2 Celtic. 2-1 Celtic should have Kenny starting. Have Johnny Kenny starting? Put Dice Maida out the wing? I mean, the formation is changeable, but Dice Maida's a 30-odd goal scorer last season. I mean, why would you start Johnny Kenny over a 33 goal scoring striker that we have? I think Dice Maida's maybe a bit better than Johnny Kenny, but we're all entitled to our own opinions, and that's what it is called, the One Celtic Fans View. Interesting that you say that, mate. Hi, Baz. We'll be lucky to get a draw tonight. Ooh, you think so? We're lucky to get a draw. I think a draw would be a fantastic result, to be honest. I think a draw against Roma in Europe, who beat Michelin, remember, I think it would be a fantastic result. Absolutely fantastic. Celtic Roma kickoff is in 1 hour and 2 minutes. 1 hour and 2 minutes. Engel first goal, Trusty second header. That would be a good one. That would be a good one if that happened tonight. Big shout. Let me just see. I should have favorited that. Never mind. Just close that down so we have that screen just for that. Perfect. We are on fire this evening. And when the other games kick off tonight, does no one like Sinisalo? Well, he's on the bench. He knew that he was going to be number 2 to Kasper Schmeichel for at least the first year. I think that Sinisalo, and that's just updated live. So this will give us the score lines tonight. That'll update as we are in play this evening. So as well as the Celtic game, every other game that kicks off at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time will also be updated, and the live league table should start to update also. Remember, troops, hit the thumbs up. I miss the days of getting excited when we got a corner. Yeah, me too. We don't really play that way anymore, do we? Where you get excited of getting a corner and we should have a proper set piece coach. We do have a proper set piece coach, and I think that's the worst thing about it. Scales is due a goal. Seems up. Do you think Scales is due a goal? I mean, do you think he's maybe went through his goal tally for the for being a defender? I'm not too sure. Hoopy Man says 2-1 Celtic this evening. He says 2-1 Celtic. That's a good scoreline. Tell me, who do you think will come on first? I think that Tenexte needs to step up to the mark tonight. I mean, Tenexte has been put out on the wing. as I thought he would be. He needs to get right up beside Hatate. Hatate will go further into the box. Hatate, there's more chance of Hatate being like a number, a second striker and floating about that area. But if Hatate does his usual and comes far too back into midfield, it's maybe to soak up the midfield, but we'll wait and see what the manager does with the formation when the game starts. But 2-1 Celtic could be a good scoreline if it happens, because it will get Celtic away up the table. In other Celtic news this evening, Celtic will be having a minute's applause before the game this evening to remember a bygone era, a player that was absolutely fantastic for Celtic during his time in the 70s. A player with such physique that would put the modern day player to absolute shame. And the thighs on him and the upper body strength of him, he would ragdoll many Celtic young players that are in the team in this day and age. And it's another sad week when Celtic have lost another fantastic legend. Tierney and McGregor to score goals for the Celts. That's an interesting one. We're missing physicality when it comes to set pieces and corners. There you go, David Hunter. You've just worked out how to turn the chat off on the telly. Thank you. Scales had enough if you count the own goals. Oh, don't say that, Bobski. Loving the new studio and interaction as well. Best channel. Thank you for that, mate. It is all about making it as interactive as we can and taking it to the next level, because there's a lot of competition out there. I've got Scales to score with the head. I hope he does. I hope it would be fantastic for Scales. You know, when you look back to the little pep talk, Scalesy, Martin O'Neill, the little pep, and I wonder why Celtic cut that bit out of the video they put out. Do you know, they turned it out to Martin O'Neill, and Martin O'Neill went, Scalesy, and headed straight for him. And then they cut it out. And I wonder what pep talk that he gave to him, and especially the one with Johnny Kenny as well, because Martin O'Neill had a good pep talk with Johnny Kenny, and he wants a certain player to be Benji Nigren. He wants him to be his fourth best Swede of all time. Can Benji Nigren do that? He'll Baz. Just don't know why Celtic play two front, especially when we're at home at Celtic. I think in a European sense, I mean, I would prefer that if they played a 3-5-2 rather than the three up front, but it may go to a 3-5-2. I think you'll get Benji Nigren coming into the midfield, or you will get that Rio Hitase going into that midfield. Ferguson's a good wee striker. We should try to say, Tony Parrott. Troy Parrott, Troy Parrott, yeah, he would be a fantastic. We missed the boat with him. I don't know why we didn't get him from Spurs at the same time that we got Cameron Carter-Vickers. This will be a tough game, but we have to put faith in the manager and the players. Yeah, we will that. Maybe 4 or 5. We need a bigger centre defensive midfield and centre forwards that are 6 foot plus. Yeah, Rab, we do that. I think so. I'd love to see Bernardo come in and be our saviour. Give the manager something to think about. I think that Paulo Bernardo is a player that, for some unknown reason, just doesn't get his chance at Celtic. I mean, I've no idea why. I mean, is he meant to be Callum McGregor's replacement, as some have said? He's not going to stick around another 2 years and wait for Callum McGregor to leave to get a game on a regular basis for Celtic, that's for sure. Do you know? Kenny's a proper striker, Maeda out in the left wing, put the strikers where they belong. Yeah, I'm one for saying that, mate, but Daiz Maeda came on for the second half of the season as our main striker, and he was fantastic. And I think that for Celtics to cash in as much as they can with Daiz Maeda in the next transfer window, we need to be playing him as a striker. That's all I'm saying on that matter. I'll just go to this. 3. There's always one. I love it. Jesus. Bet Dixie could have had a strong tackle when football was a contact sport. Yeah, he did that. Danny Cassie has given us a super chat already. Thank you for that, Danny. He comes in with his £2 super chat. Let's win for Dixie Deans. I think win the cup. We badly needs a goals tally up. I don't think it'll come down to goal difference. Unlike the Champions League, I think it'll be purely points will be enough to get us into the top 24. That's all that I'm aiming for in this European campaign. Is finish top 24, get the result in Europe, and get us to the playoff position, because we're not good enough to automatically qualify. We're not good enough to be there in the sense that there is earlier games kicked off. So that's just going to give me the 9 o'clock games. Okay, that's something to think about, because the league table isn't updating as you. Oh, it has, because Midtjylland are back top of the table, so the league table has updated. Apologies. Real Betis is down in second position as it stands. Midtjylland are top. Braga are in third position. Lyon. And what has that done to Celtic? Where has that pushed Celtic down to? Celtic are now currently in 23rd position with the early games that have kicked off, and Rangers have moved up to 32nd with their 1-1 draw specialists. Rangers, the draw specialists, are drawn a game 1-1 in Europe. Young Boys are winning 1-0. Nottingham Forest are winning 1-0. And we've got a lot of teams that are over the 10-point mark now. Celtic could really do with a win tonight. Roma are down in 18th on 9 points. And they'll be thinking themselves, we get a win tonight. That puts them right up. And this is what's difficult about this game, because Roma will know that if they win tonight, there's every chance that they can go into the automatic qualification spot with 2 games to go. And then they know it's in their own hands. They're going to come out firing. It's not going to be easy for Celtic. If we get the win, there's every chance that it could take us up into, the top 15. And that gives us a cracking chance with 2 games remaining to make sure that we get automatic playoff position in place. I mean, ideally, you would want Celtic to try and win their last. Could you imagine if we won our last 3 games in Europe and jumped right up into the top 8 of the Europa? That would be a turnaround and a half. But let's get this one out the way first. Let's not get overexcited about the future. Gutted for Bernardo. He'll be away in the summer at the latest. I'm beginning to think so. Paul says, I hope Celtic win. Where's the positivity we need? Maybe the night when Bernardo and Kell shine. You never know. Could be the night that Bernardo comes on. Bernardo comes on and did what he did in the Scottish Cup a few years back. Feel shame for Sinisalo. Brilliant goalie. Why does Celtic buy him? Sit on the bench all the time. I think that will become clearer if Celtic do not make him number 1 goalkeeper next year, and at the beginning of the season, if it gets to the summer and Sinisalo is told he's not number 1 goalkeeper, he's off, and we're going to lose a fantastic goalkeeper. And you're going to look a few years down the line, and Sinisalo's going to be worth 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 million as a goalkeeper. And we completely wasted him at Celtic. Three managers now don't rate Bernardo. Paul, who do you drop out? Who do you drop out in the midfield, Paul? Saying that he doesn't rate Bernardo. Do you drop out McGregor? No. Do you drop out Engels? Is Bernardo better than Engels? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Because that's the two positions that he's playing for. I think he's at Celtic at a time where he's unlucky that we've got an abundance of midfield players. And that's the reality at Celtic just now. It's not the fact that he's not fancied by any one manager. The fact is we've got an abundance of midfield players. You know, Hatate could play in there, Benji could play in there, Engels plays in there, McGregor plays in there. There's only a couple of spots, so you're going to have someone on the bench. Yes, he should be getting some game time. I think he should have been getting game time in the cup game. But Martin O'Neill couldn't change it around. Martin O'Neill had to play his strongest team in the cup. You know, Martin O'Neill couldn't change it so that you can give players that don't get a game every week. If we'd had a settled manager from the start of the season that was going to see out the season, you would have players like Sinisalo, Bernardo, all playing in the League Cup. And then you would get to see how good they were in the League Cup. And that gives them their pathway into the first team. But we're on our third manager now, and a manager cannot give himself that little bit of gap for the players to say, do you know what, I'm going to give these players a chance in the cup. Because he's got to go and play his strongest team. Look what happened last week at Hearts. Played our strongest team, he lost. The pressure's on him. If he was to bring in Paulo Bernardo, I'm all one for bringing in Paulo Bernardo, but if he makes changes in that midfield tonight and Paulo Bernardo doesn't have a good game, everyone's right on the back of the manager saying, why the hell did you play Paulo Bernardo? He's not been getting enough game time. He's shite. He's this, he's that. You know, so anyway, watching the Huns and Feyenoord playing in green and white hoops. Are they? I didn't even know they were playing Feyenoord. Fuck it, Celtic 4-1 says something today. 3-1 tonight. Oh, 3-1 for the other team. I'm confident we're going to get a result tonight. 1-0 to us. They're not playing Feyenoord, mate. I didn't think so. I'm just reading the comments. It's Robbie Keane's team that they're playing. We're shite and we know we are. Come on, boys. Oh, God. I'm going to jump right through these. Ferguson only scored one this season. Yeah, he's not been getting a game for them, has he? But it is what it is. Let me just double check that this is not needing. Oh, shit. There we go. There we go. That is the team. Trusty in the scales. Scales in the middle of the park. I mean, ideally, if we had Cameron Carter-Vickers fit, you would move Scales out to the left-hand side, and then you would push Tierney up, and then you would push Tenecti further forward where Rio Hatate is. And then that would mean losing Arnie Engels in midfield, because Rio Hatate would go into the midfield position. So you'd be sitting with 15, 20 million pounds worth of players on the bench. Do you know, we need to think about the players that are not fit at the moment, and where do they fit into the team? Where do you bring in Alistair Johnston? I mean, he's not going to sit in. I don't think that he played as did he play as part of a back three for the previous manager? You never know. He might want Tierney, but then that leaves you wide open, doesn't it? So it's going to be interesting to see what the manager does over the next few weeks. That is for sure. Score first and defend like, yeah, exactly. Calmack ain't getting dropped, and we spent 11 million on Engels. He ain't getting dropped. Yeah, well, what's my prediction? It's the same as it was this morning. I went for 2-1 this morning. Calmack's not getting dropped. He said that twice. Bernardo needs to get used. Rest Calmack. You're not going to rest Calmack. We play absolutely. Look back to last season. Look back to last season when we played woeful when Kalmak wasn't playing. He's not the same player as Kalmak, and I think that, you know, as far as that goes, we're in trouble in a few years' time because we've nobody that can control the game. He's not a controller, you know, and I think that that's the worry that we've got right now. You drop Shatati for Bernardo, play Kenny up front instead of Benji with Maida. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to drop Rio Hitati because on his day, Rio Hitati can put in a world class pass. And if Rio Hitati's up for it, and Rio Hitati's another one that needs to shine in a European context because he's one that'll be looking for a move this summer. 3-4-3 playing tonight. Is it your guess? It's more a guess than anything, mate. I don't think that any of us know exactly how we'll be playing tonight, but with the way that the team is lined up, that's the formation that I think that we will be playing. They will kill us with the right wing area if tonight doesn't put in a shift. If we play decent, we've got a decent chance of putting pressure on Roma. There we go. Yang and Tenecti don't do enough tracking back. I fear we'll get ripped on the wings. A lot of people saying that. I think it's about defending from the front and not allowing them to put pressure on us. Jota walks his way into this team when he's fully fit. Yeah, of course he does. I mean, he's up there with the front three. And then, you know, if Rio Hitati's sold in the next window, in comes Jota. Is Wilfred Nancy playing three at the back because of shortages in defence? Yes, I think so. I think he is. You can only play with the players that we've got. And we're going to struggle with this 4-3-3. We should have 2-5-3 with McGregor as sweeper. Yeah, just play two at the back and go fuck it. I've got my binoculars on the night just in case we get a hammer in. Oh God, don't say that. Other performances, most passes, to be fair, better recently. Yeah. Right. What time is it? It is 7:20 Celtic Park time. There is exactly 42 minutes until kickoff at Celtic Park. And yeah, I've not seen Stephen Johnston today. Hopefully he's okay, mate. What's the bet on Hitati scoring? Says Helen. I don't know. Have a look and see. Jota on the wing, yeah. Once Jota's back, he'll definitely go straight into it. But Jota needs to get back to full fitness. Do you know? He's obviously he's not even back on the training pitch yet. You know, we're all jumping the gun about Jota. It's only the 11th of December. I think that it'll take him at least a month or 6 weeks for Jota to get his fitness back up. And then he's got to get match fitness. So you're not going to see the best of Jota until the end of the season. Looking forward tonight, just hoping Nancy having a few more days with the players. We'll start to understand how he wants to play, but it'll take time. The channel is on. It was on. It's TNT. It's on TNT Sports tonight. Can't wait for a Jota return. That's my favourite song. Says Sarah. It's a little bit quieter tonight. It's way quieter tonight, actually. But never mind. Huns concede, have they? I mean, Utrecht are in 32nd position. I mean, you're thinking that we're going to beat Utrecht. TNT 3 it's on. You would definitely think that it would be beat Utrecht, and that gives us the 10 points if we do not get the 10 points tonight. But it'll be an interesting way to see. Has a certain team just conceded a goal? 73 minutes into the game, and Robbie Keane's team has just put one over Rangers. They're now winning 2-1 against Rangers. That's one of the scores that aren't on this because it was one of the early kickoffs. All the live scores on the screen here are all the 8 o'clock Celtic Park time kickoffs. Let's all get behind our team. Yeah, let's all get behind the team. It'll be interesting to see how many people are at the game tonight. And how many have decided to just say, nah, I'm not going. I'm not going. Wonder if we get any pictures of Celtic Park if they're in. You'll be in the chat about now. That's perfect. Mr. Producer Man. Get around you. Roma didn't play great the last visit to Glasgow and won 2-0. Can Celtic go one better and beat Roma? I think we can. Player to watch tonight for me is Yang. Yang needs to turn up in style. And Tenecti, he needs to be the player that he was brought in to be at Celtic. He needs to take on players on the wing and score a few goals. He does need he needs a few goals, and then you might see the player that we all thought he was. But the fact that he's playing further back, you would expect Tenecti to be in the position that Hatate's in. It's a big game for him. But then Hatate's not the winger, so will Hatate fall back into the midfield position? It's going to be interesting to watch, that's for sure. Robbie Keane going nuts on the touchline after that goal. I think we've surprised tonight Celtic going to play a blinder and leave Europe panicking. Oof, that's a big one. All the players have to perform tonight. Yeah, they do. They need to perform in big numbers if we're going to do anything in this league at all. And like I say, I don't think that it is the be all and end all. I'm just looking at some of the other score lines tonight. All the top 4 teams are all winning. Midtjylland are winning 1-0. Real Betis, they've flew up the table, haven't they? With their win tonight. Real Betis are in second in the Europa now on 14 with a 3-0 win that they currently winning streak that they currently have. And the team that are beating Rangers are in Robbie Keane's team are in third. Robbie Keane's team are in third in the Europa League now. They've jumped up into third position on 14 points. That just shows you, because they've had 4 wins in Europe, 2 draws and no losses. How Celtic fans would have loved to get Robbie Keane. Maybe some didn't. Braga, that's a team that Celtic know well over the years, are winning 1-0 also. And Lyon is one of the later kickoffs. So when you start to look at the way that the league is going, with only 2 games remaining after tonight, there are a lot of teams that are in positions. They know that they are they have qualified for the next rounds. They've passed the 10-point mark, and it's all about automatic qualification. You could say that Real Betis, Midtjylland, Braga, you're pretty much guaranteed that they'll qualify. Aston Villa will be hoping to get up there. They're in 7th position. Celtic are currently in 24th position now, with the results that have been played tonight. So it just shows the importance of getting, because young boys have jumped above Celtic in the league, and that has pushed Celtic down into 24th position. So Celtic need to get their finger out. We need something from the game tonight. Even if it is a draw, just to keep us within touching distance of the top 24. Because if we get a hammering tonight and we're left with 7 points, it will make it very, very difficult for us to get top 24. Huns getting beat 2-1. Should have went and got Keane. Keane was never going to leave. And a lot of Celtic fans didn't want Keane. Wooden Spoons still have a trophy of sorts that nobody wants. Yeah, it does that. And they're down to 33rd position with what's looking like another loss in Europe. It just shows you how the fortunes of a team can change. especially the fact that they've managed to get to quite a lot of um, later stages of Europe. They would have been thinking that it was going to be easy for them to get to the later stages of Europe, and big scales scares the shit out of me. Scales is that bad, surely, surely. Yang better than Tenecti on the left, in my opinion, says Martin. Did you see Keane's interview? He said, never say never to Celtic. You never know. You never know. But anyone with a slight connection to Celtic is going to say that. I mean, Scott Brown would say that. Oh, Jesus. He'll be in with a shout with a few years. Hmm. TNT 3. TNT 3, the game is on. If you can't get it on that, you will get it on camel1.live /football /Celtic. Kickoff is in 34 minutes. James says, do a shout out to my pal Andy, who's just been became a great uncle. Oh, he's just became a great uncle. Jimmy the Jock. There we go. From Jimmy the Jock. Let's give out a shout out to his pal Andy, who's just became a great uncle. God. There you go. He's had his shout out. Not getting rid of Martin Neal, the fan favourite, to bring in cable. That's a good one. Tony says, you're not getting rid of Martin O'Neill, who was a fan favourite, to then bring in someone that is not capable of taking us further in Europe. I think we might get a pleasant surprise tonight. You know, the manager knows how to do it in cup games. He's done it before in big cup games. Pray for the win, but settle for the draw. I think that would be a good result. Yeah, but we never build from a position of strength, though, do we? I mean, Michelin, we should have been beating Michelin all day long. Do you know? I think that managers have got a lot to answer for. It's not just the Celtic board. You've had two managers over the last 4 years that have not managed to progress us in Europe to the extent that we want, and they've not built a team. You know, and I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of the way that the club's run, because the club's been run the way it has, and there's nothing we can do about it until we get change. That's it. We need to just concentrate on what we have. Give Nancy time and back him. Yeah, Liam, that's what I think. Give him the time. Give him time to get results, especially in Europe. And I tell you one thing: if he starts getting results in Europe, it will be an unbelievable turnaround from Celtic. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Anyway, we have been on for just over 45 minutes. It's been a bit quieter tonight than usual. A lot of people obviously tuning in to the TV. Make sure that you do join us for the watch along, where you'll get all the live stats down in this corner here from the game, and you'll get the live score lines also. And then you'll get all the other live results will come up on the screen there. Majority of us just want positive from the guy tonight. He's only been here a week. Yeah, I think so. Big Rav says Nancy will need it at least to the summer window before any real changes. I think that he needs to make the changes this window. He will know as well that we've got a qualifying game for the Champions League in the summer. Celtic will, if Celtic do not strengthen in the right manner in the next window, we're not going to. I'm still predicting 2-1. I'm still predicting 2-1 to Celtic tonight. That was my prediction this morning, and I think that's the one that I'm sticking with. 2-1. Watch it on TV. Muted Buzz. Perfect, mate. Perfect. He won't be here for the summer window, says Paul. Of course he'll be here for the summer window. That's like saying Ange Postecoglou wasn't going to be here for the summer window, and look what happened to him. Do you know? I think that if Ange had got, Ange was played in the Champions League, and he had a that's the past. Sun ripped me after giving Nancy stick at the weekend, so it's a fresh start tonight. Yeah, it's a fresh start tonight. I think everyone needs a fresh start in life, and I think that he's a manager that once he gets us playing the way that he wants to, I think that there's a lot of people that are going to be eating humble pie. The referee and the fourth official tonight are brothers. They're Romanian. Oh, well, there we go. Right, Danny Cassie says, I'm going to say that my wee favourite score, plus Dyson. Yeah. Win tonight, lose Sunday, or lose tonight, win Sunday. Win tonight and win Sunday. It's a no-brainer. I say draw tonight and win Sunday. If we draw tonight, it'll be a fantastic score. But the way that you're looking at the Europa League, a draw tonight's not really that much use to us. A draw tonight may just keep us in the top 24. If we lose tonight, we will drop out the top 24. Winning a trophy is more important. Yeah, is that. So I'm hoping for a good result tonight. I hope that Celtic get the result ultimately that's needed to get us over the line. Make sure that you join me for the watch along, as we will. There's only been 2,100 on. We're about 1,000 views down tonight than what we normally are, which is a bit weird. Let's hope it changes your mind tonight. I just hope that it's a good game and that Celtic score a couple of screamers for outside the box. We've done it before and we can do it again. Anyway, I'm away to get ready to watch the game and do the watch along. Make sure you join me for that. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. And you get something from my throat.